Welcome back to Behind the Hero. Tonight's heroes are the duo who recently restored peace and order to our galaxy, Ratchet and Clank. So, gentlemen, tell us about your latest incredible adventures.
Well, as you can imagine, we've been pretty busy. After Drek's defeat, there were parades, press conferences, fancy dress balls.
And the wiener roast at Al's.
Oh yeah, that. And then things started to slow down a bit. After that,
There was the grand opening at Groovy Lube.
Right. I think that was last week.
6 months ago.
We're still pretty busy, but in a more, domestic sense.
Yesterday, I flushed out my radiator core.
I guess no one needs a hero right now.
After a huge success Insomniac Games had with Ratchet and Clank, it quickly garnered a sequel just 1 year later, Ratchet and Clank 2 Locked and Loaded, otherwise known as Going Commando. Ratchet and Clank 2 is set straight after the first game. After defeating Chairman Drek, the two heroes are now celebrities. But there isn't really much going on until they are teleported to a different galaxy by the CEO of Megacorp, Fizz Widget. Basically, Ratchet is sent on a quest to find a stolen little furball creature. It starts off simple enough, however the story has many twists and turns, and by the end, the tables have totally changed. The first Ratchet and Clank game tried a lot at making many of these scenes funny, but personally I think it tried too hard and it showed. Locked and Loaded, on the other hand, gets the tone perfect for many scenarios, and it comes together to create a much better laughs than the first game. 2 easily has one of my favourite stories in the entire franchise. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Now onto the gameplay. While 2 hasn't really evolved all that much from its predecessor, it still has many very welcoming improvements. Now you still travel to dozens of beautiful planets, completing quests and finding new items to continue the story. You also collect bolts like the first game, which acts as the game's currency. In addition to the standard levels, there's also other ways to get bolts and basically just enjoying the new world Insomniac has crafted. Side activities include hoverbike races, space battles, gladiator arena fights, and even becoming Big Clank and battling robots on small spherical planetoids. Outside the awesome variety, Ratchet and his arsenal of weapons also have some new upgrades. Ratchet himself can now strafe, which adds a highly needed feature that many were screaming for in the first installment. The lineup of weapons have also been revamped too, as some of the best guns in the franchise, with almost all of them being very fun to use and also necessary. The enemies have had major improvements with better AI and strategies to just more hit points, and this creates a new necessity to actually use the weapons, in which the first game, the basic wrench was the best weapon to turn to in many situations. In addition to all the new weapons, they now gain experience when you get kills with them, allowing you to level them up for a better version which could get higher damage, range or ammo counts. And in New Game Plus you can level them up again, and even then, the collectible platinum bolts in the game can be used to purchase additional upgrades to your weapons like lock-on features and much more.
So next time you're in the market for some legally ambiguous refashioning, remember the name. Slim Cognitos. The only inspections we pass are yours.
Platforming also feels much better this time around with sleeker movement from Ratchet. The Clank missions are back, but they can sometimes slow the pace down. these definitely were in need of a change. The music has made a great comeback, having some really memorable themes for many of the stages.
Too late again.
We always seem to be a bit late. Why is that?
Well, let's check this place out and find out where he's headed.
Ratchet and Clank 2 is a stunning comeback for the series, only a year after the first, and it had this much of an upgrade. Everything from you and your guns now level up and gain experience. New mechanics, gadgets and stray feature make the platforming and combat much more fun and intuitive. And the soundtrack, the storyline and the comedy have also been beefed up. All that holds this sequel back is the very repetitive and often frustrating minigames such as the generic space battles and slow-paced Clank missions, and the latter end of the game can become very overwhelming. But with cool gladiator missions that would later get their own game and everything else that the game improved, these small complaints can definitely be overlooked. Ratchet and Clank 2 gets a final score from me of a brilliant 90%. Thank you very much for watching this review, and stay tuned for lots more on the way. Adios.
Clank? Uh-oh. It's okay. I can fix her. I promise.